Hello everyone. So today we are going to launch different browsers using Playwright. So let's get started how to launch different browsers. Okay. So first of all, in Playwright, as we have discussed earlier, there are three things we have to know before launching any browser. So first one is we should have the Playwright tool instance. Okay, and once we get the Playwright instance, then we have to get the browser type, which browser we have to launch, or we are going to open which type of browser. And once you got the browser type, from the browser type you will get to know browser specific. I will tell you browser type in the sense it will be mostly either Chromium or Firefox or Safari WebKit. Okay, and then once we got the browser type, then we will got the we have to get the browser instance. Okay, and then once we get the browser instance, then we will launch page. Okay, so first of all we have to get the Playwright tool. Once we got the Playwright tool, then we have to know which type of browser. I will tell you what is this Chromium, Firefox, or WebKit. And then once we got the browser type, then we will get the browser specific instance, and then we will get the page. Okay, so then once we got the page, then we can be able to perform different actions on the page, as I have earlier discussed. So okay, so basically if we will go, because there will be confusion, what is the browser type and what is the browser instance. Okay, so basically in Playwright, or if you will see, there are two things. One is browser, okay, and the browser technology. Okay, generally the browser is developed using some technology. Okay, so one is browser technology and one is the browser. Okay, so different browsers uses different types of technology. Okay, so if you will say Chrome or Firefox or Safari, so these are different types of browsers, and these or Edge. So these different types of browsers have been developed using a specific technology. They can be either independent or dependent on each other. Okay, so if I will say what is this Chromium, so this Chromium is nothing. This is not. Please remember that Chromium and Chrome browser are two different things. Okay, Chromium and Chrome browsers are two different things. Okay, I will say why there is difference, because if you will say Chromium, this is generally a open source project, Chromium. Okay, and Chrome, this is the Chrome browser, Google Chrome. So let me launch it. So this is my Chrome browser. Okay, but this Chromium is a specific open source project. Okay, and this project is used, it acts on a base project for Chrome. Okay, तो बेसिकली क्या होता है, हमारे पास एक ओपन सोर्स प्रोजेक्ट होता है Chromium, एंड इसके ऊपर जनरली गूगल ने क्या किया है, इस टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज़ करके उसने क्रोम ब्राउज़र बनाया है. ओके, सो Chromium इज बेसिकली ए ओपन सोर्स प्रोजेक्ट. Chromium is an open source project, and ये जो this project or this project can be used to develop different types of browsers. Okay, so basically it acts as a base project, open source project, and it acts as a base project. So basically क्रोम में क्या हुआ है, क्रोम ने इस क्रोमियम को यूज़ किया है, टेक्नोलॉजी को प्रोजेक्ट को यूज़ करके उसने क्रोम ब्राउज़र डेवलप किया है। बट तो गूगल ने क्या किया है, इसको यूज़ किया है क्रोमियम टेक्नोलॉजी को यूज़ करके उसके ऊपर कुछ दे हैव डेवलप्ड सम एडिशनल फीचर्स। ओके, सो क्रोमियम एंड क्रोम are two different things. Chromium is the open source project and Chrome is a specific browser which uses this Chromium project. Okay, so there are different projects which generally use this Chromium. If I will search Chromium, let me so which browsers are using the Chromium project. Okay, so if you'll see this Chromium, kitne sare, there are different browsers which are using this Chromium project. So one is Opera, then Brave browser is also using Chromium, Microsoft Edge, MS Edge, Microsoft Edge also is using Chromium, and Chrome browser is also using the Chromium. Okay, and let's say Chromium. Let's go to the Chromium. So you can see Chromium is a free and open source web browser project mainly developed and maintained by Google, and the code base provides the vast majority of code for the Google Chrome browser. Okay, so basically Google Chrome is using this Chromium project, and what they have done, they have added some additional features to the Chrome browser. Okay, but internally it is using the base line is the Chromium project, and the Chromium code base is widely used. Microsoft Edge, Samsung Internet, Opera, and many other browsers are using on the Chromium code. Okay, so now we got what is the difference between Chromium and Chrome browser. Okay, then we will see how to launch a browser. So first, as I have told you, I have to get the instance of the Playwright tool. Let me get the instance of this tool. Playwright tool dot create async. So this create async method is returns as the Playwright tool. Okay. So once we get the Playwright tool instance, then we will go to get the browser type instance. Okay. Then my browser type, I will use this instance to get my browser type. Okay. So let me copy paste this one. Dot. You can see Playwright tool, Chromium, Firefox, and there will be also WebKit. Okay, so let me first go to Chromium. Okay, so basically the Chromium returns me a generally if you can see this object can be used to launch to connect Chromium. Okay, return instance of iBrowser. So this gives me the browser type, and then I will go to create the browser instance. So if I will say my browser equal to, I will use this browser type to get my browser. Okay, browser type dot connect async, launch async. So here let me tell you and the end browser. So this I got my browser. Okay, and then I will get my page. Page equal to browser dot so let me first write the object. new pages. Okay. So since this is async method, I have to use my await keyword. I will tell you what is the difference between await, why we are using this await. And then once I get my page, then I will navigate. I will go to sync. So https. Since this is async method, I have to use the await keyword. So let's debug this one and see if it is running or not. Okay, now my control is here, so it is running fine. Let me run it again. Yeah, it successfully ran. Success. Okay, but we are unable to view our browser actually. What happens on the UI, we are unable to see actually. Okay, so basically for this, the default behavior of this Playwright tool that it launches the browser in the default mode, which is headless. So there are two things. One is headless, and one is headless. Okay, headless equal to true or headless equal to false. This is a binary variable. So what is this headless? So this headless. Basically it tells us whether we want to open the browser or we do not want to open the browser, but it will create an instance in the background of that browser and it will run all your activities there only. But in headless, whenever headless will be true, so in that case you will not be able to see the instance of the browser through the UI. Okay, it will be handled through the backend only. So in the backend it will create one instance of the browser and it will do all the activities, and you will be unable to see whatever events are occurring on the browser. In order to view what is happening, so we have to make headless equal to false. Okay, so in that case it will launch the browser and you will be able to see the browser through the UI. So in the launch async method, there will be I have to create one instance of the browser type launch options. So here I will say headless equal to false. Default behavior is true. I will say here as false. And let me run the code again. So you will see it will launch the browser. Okay, so it launches the browser, this browser, and navigates to google.com. Okay, now the code is working fine, but the difference is you can see it is Chromium browser, it is not the Chrome browser. Okay, please be aware that this is the Chromium browser. So earlier also, whenever I started Playwright, I also thought that this is the Chrome browser, because if you see Chromium and Chrome, so all the things are similar. So Chrome options, new tab, so the UI is perfectly similar to Chrome browser, but this is not the Chrome browser, this is the Chromium. Okay, so let me close this one. Okay, so why this is opening the Chromium browser? Because we are using the Chromium technology. Chromium, and as I said earlier, right? Chromium is an open source web project actually. So the default project, it will open as a Chromium. Okay, and please be aware that this is not the Chrome browser. So if you want to okay, so now I will I will show you how to open the Chrome browser, and then Microsoft Edge. Okay, then I will show you Safari, then I will show you Firefox. Okay, so the Chrome browser and Microsoft Edge, as I have shown you in the starting of this video that the Microsoft Edge, Chrome browser, Opera, Brave browser, they are using this Chromium project. Okay, so this Chromium project, this Chromium can be used to launch my Chrome browser as well as Microsoft Edge. So then how my Playwright tool will know that whether I have to launch my Chrome or Chromium browser on Microsoft Edge? So basically the default behavior is it will launch the Chromium browser. Okay, if you want to launch a different browser other than Chromium, then here there is a parameter called channel. Okay, so in the channel you have to type, like suppose I want to use my Chrome browser. Okay, Chrome, I will type Chrome here. Okay, and let me run the code. It is showing unsupported Chromium channel. So basically what it is showing, debug selected execution failed, console Microsoft Playwright or Playwright exception, unsupported Chromium channel, Chrome. Okay, now it is launching my Chrome browser, and if you'll see that this is the icon. Okay, so now it launches my Chrome browser and it navigates to Google, like google.com site. Okay, so basically the error whatever we have just faced, I have used this C as capital, so that's why I was getting the error like unable to. Let me show you, let me run it again. Playwright exception unsupported Chromium channel Chrome, because it is unable to get the channel, unable to recognize what is this Chrome. So in order to resolve this issue, you have to type C in small. This is case sensitive actually. So if I'll run it again, so it launches my Chrome browser successfully. Okay, let me stop it, and now we will move to Safari. Okay, so Safari is not using Chromium, so it's using a different tool. So for Safari I will use my WebKit. Okay, and if I'll use the WebKit, it will launch my remove the channel here. It will launch the Safari. Because if you are using Chromium, then through the Chromium we are seeing like different browsers, right? MSA, Microsoft Edge, or Brave browser or Chrome browser. So in that case, we have to mention in the channel which browser from the Chromium technology you are going to launch. Okay, so to launch the Safari, so we will use the WebKit instead of Chromium, and we have to remove the channel parameter to launch the Safari. And then now we'll move to Firefox. So for the Firefox, it uses a different one, Firefox, and let's learn this one. Okay, so it launches the Firefox browser. So now we will see how to launch the Microsoft Edge. So since Microsoft Edge is using the Chromium, so we'll move to Chromium, and in the channel I will type for the Microsoft Edge, I will type MS Edge. Okay, so let me run this one. Yeah, it launches the Microsoft Edge successfully. Okay, but if you are launching the Microsoft Edge for the first time, you will not be able to launch the browser, because the default behavior of Playwright is that it installs. Generally, whenever we are creating this browser type instance with the browser, all these options, so it internally before running the script, it internally tries to download all the browser instances for browsers. So it the default, it tries to install these three. One is Firefox, one is Chromium, and another one is WebKit. Okay, so these three things generally it tries to install. Since we are now trying to launching the Microsoft Edge, so it will not find that that instance from the default installation. Okay, for that we have to first install the Microsoft Edge, and then we will try to launch our browser. Okay, so for that, move to your terminal or command window prompt. Your Node.js should be installed on the machine, on your machine. Okay, so if you have not installed, please look at my previous video that I have told you. So here, so let me navigate to the folder where you will where our all the browsers are present for the Playwright. Okay, so let me move to library, then we'll move to cache, then we'll move to MS Playwright. Okay, so here you will see all this WebKit and Chromium and Firefox. Okay, so I have installed for the MS Edge here. So let me show you how to install that. Okay, so let me move to that. Here you will see all this Chromium, Firefox, and WebKit for the MS Edge. Please type npx playwright install MS Edge. Okay, so failed to install browser, MS Edge is already installed on your system. So if since I have already installed this command on my machine, so it is throwing me this error, but for your machine it will work as expected. But if I want to override my MS Edge binaries, I will type install force MS Edge. Okay, then it will ask you for the password. I will enter my password here, and it will install the MS Edge binaries. Let me wait until it completed successfully. So here basically we have seen how to launch the Chromium browser, how to launch Chrome browser, how to launch Microsoft Edge, then Firefox and Safari. Okay, so basically generally I prefer since the Chrome and Chromium are mostly similar, few features have been added in the Chrome browser, so I mostly tell like Chromium and Chrome browser same, but it is better to be more specific while automating in your project. So we little bit over that Chromium and Chromes are little bit different. Okay, but I generally tell like Chromium, Chrome in different contexts. So yeah. Okay, so once this installs, you will be able to run your code where it will launch the MS Edge browser, Microsoft Edge browser. Okay, so let me wait till it successfully launches the browser. Yeah, it launches the browser. Okay, so that's all from this video. If you have liked the video, please subscribe to my channel.